Beat Making Basics.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? Beat Making Basics back again with another dope video. If you're new to my channel, please do me a favor. Go ahead and subscribe as well as give me a thumbs up because we're coming back to back with bangers. Now today's video, I'm going to be explaining why you should always export your files as audio before you mix, okay? Why you should always export your files as audio before you mix. Now, first things first, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say that a lot of producers or most producers don't go ahead and mix with MIDI files. You know, sometimes it saves time with, saves a step. You don't have to necessarily process it and all that type of stuff. A lot of us use a lot of shortcuts. But I will say this, when you go ahead and export your MIDI sessions or your beat as audio files, it's going to be a whole lot more of a smoother and cleaner mix. And the reason why is because audio is a lot easier for your computer to process rather than MIDI, especially once you lock in, like say if you put all these different effects on the on the MIDI files and then bounce it down as audio, the audio then becomes like a solid format. So they're not having, like, if you take your files and put it back into your computer, it's gonna basically have all the plugins already on those audio files. So your computer's not gonna have to try to process the sounds plus all of the plugins that you have. So for instance, if I was to come over here to this particular session, you're gonna notice that there's different plugins on these same type of tracks here. So like for instance, right here on this grand piano has a lot of different effects on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, plus this little gain knob. So it's like that for the computer to process all of that, plus everything else that's going on right here. We have different plugins on these other tracks as well. It's just gonna just load up your processing power, and it's gonna be a better thing for you to go ahead and export it as audio. Now, if you're brand new to Logic Pro 10, you're wondering, hey, how do I export it as audio? These are some steps that I would recommend you take. So first off, what I would recommend you doing after you get your beat the way you want it to sound, just go ahead and do a save as. So Command Shift S, and then you can put 2, you can put A, you can put second mix or whatever you want, and you want to save a whole nother session of the same beat. Okay, after you do that, then I would recommend coming over here and say, a lot of times when you're making beats, you already kind of start working on the levels. But I would recommend, go ahead and highlight this. Let's just say that the beat was, has stuff like this going on. You feel me? I would recommend highlighting this, holding down Option and clicking on the faders. And what that's going to do is bring everything to nominal gain. Then I would recommend, before you export it to audio files, go over here and make sure that none of the tracks are clipping. You want to leave some headroom. So I'll go through a process called gain staging, and this is where we're basically going to come over here, add this gain plugin, in which basically you can just go right here to your audio effects, scroll down to utility and push gain, all right, and stereo. And once that gain plugin comes up, you can just start soloing out each instrument and turn the instrument down so where you can have some headroom within the stereo out. So for instance, if I push play right now, this kick is going to be coming in very strong. Let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Now I'm going to put this little meter on it real quick. It's a level meter. Let's just kind of look where everything's punching. So it's not too bad, but once you start adding everything else within this mix or within this project or session, it's gonna start clipping as far as on the stereo out. So what I would do to compensate for that is I'm gonna click on this and turn this down some to where, we have some headroom once this kick punches through. So check this out now. And that's actually a little bit too low, so I would take this gain and push it up some, maybe to like right there. And if you see right here, we have like the headroom we have is right around at -6 dB, and that's pretty much where you want it on each track. And so I went through here and did that process, gain staging and all this stuff. So And I kept on making sure that, like, so I'll start with the kick, add the clap, and I want to make sure that over here I still have everything hitting below 0. So like as you can see, I still have, everything is not like peaking basically. So you want to make sure you go through that process of doing that. After you do that, right, then the next thing I would recommend doing is pushing Shift Command E. Shift Command E. And what you could do is you can go to your desktop and create a new folder and name it or whatever, and then you can come over here, turn the normalize off, make sure you have 24-bit, make sure you have wave file selected, and then you can name your beat right here. Make sure the custom is up here, then track name, and then push export. And then once you do that, you're going to create a brand new session. So you'll come over here to Logic, say new, and then create a new session. Okay. So after you do that, you go ahead and create, and then you can come over here to this far right here, this last little button up here, and it's going to allow you to go onto your computer and find that the files. So I'm gonna go over here to my desktop, click that, and then I go to the beat that I have, and then I can just drag it in as so. All right. Now, mind you, all of these audio files already have the plugins on them and everything, so I'm not gonna have to necessarily reprocess a lot of this stuff. It's gonna make it a whole lot easy. It's gonna make it a whole lot better for my computer to process the files this way. So we'll do existing tracks, and you bring this in. You want to make sure you know your tempo or your BPM, pick it up to that. And now, as you can see here, the wave files are not too crazy. They're not peaking at all. And I can always boost these files if I need to with compressors and different things like that. So this is just a tip I wanted to, give y'all when it comes to mixing, just to explain why it's always going to be a better idea when it comes to mixing your beats to export your files as audio first before you mix your beats. And think about it like this, honestly, you're going to have to get the stems anyway. You're going to have to provide the stems anyway for your beat. So you might as well go ahead and save that step and do that every single time, export your files as audio. So appreciate y'all watching. If you like this tip that I gave y'all or explanation as to why you need to export your files as audio before you mix, make sure that you get subscribed to my channel. All you got to do is hit that little red button that says subscribe, turn those bell notifications on, and then you won't miss any type of videos. Now, I also have courses that you can download from my site, beatmakingbasics.com. All you got to do is go to the site, and I have several courses that you can get. These courses are all original, and they come with hours and hours of content, and everything is also organized as well. So instead of having to go on YouTube and search video to video, everything is right there, step by step, what you need to do, like to mix your beats or make beats in Logic Pro 10. I have a lot of different courses you can choose from. We also have loop packs, and then I also have a one-on-one Logic Pro 10 training series that I do. It's basically a Zoom call, live Zoom call. So like, if that's something that you would like to do, then please go ahead and go to beatmakingbasics.com and sign up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.